Django. Django.
You have now entered the lab, Elvis Escobar, Fort, Chama, I think. Not sure if I don't recognize him. Some of y'all won't.
Shit, bro. I hate
Episode
this shit,
46.
man.
What's going on with
Shit
your look,
sucks.
brother?
This shit fucking sucks, bro. This shit. So I made a bet. UFC over the weekend, and I lost, and I'm a man of my word. So now I'm out here looking like fucking CHIMAEV or Khabib or whoever, and I hate it, bro.
At least everybody in that camp is winning, so you can at least say that you're a part of greatness.
That's true. I get to work, and the inventory guy, he looks at me, and he like did like a double take, and he goes, "Yo, did you join Khabib's camp?" I'm like, "You motherfucker, bro!" Like,
it's crazy how similar you look to them. It's crazy. Well, I'm sure we'll get into UFC recap. Obviously, what is that? 280.
280. Yeah. I don't even want to talk about it. So,
all right. Well, I'll make sure you recap it for me anyway, because I wasn't able to watch it. I was in Austin, Texas for the F1 race. Yeah, literally, the Airbnb was my first Austin, Texas, or other Texas trips were in Dallas, but it was for business, so I didn't really get to experience true Texas. This one, I, experienced it fully for the whole week, and it was great. Great experience. I'll kind of go into it and recap it and all that, but before, what was that?
Someone banging?
Oh, fuck. Who's that? Oh, shit. We got somebody. We got a guest in the lab today. Who is it? Let me peek through the peephole real quick.
Who popped in? What is going on?
Is that Mo?
Who you sending the link out to?
Is that Mo Tights? Is that Maurice? Let's see who it is. Let's open up the door real quick. Oh shit, Maurice!
Yeah.
Into the lab, baby.
Wow, I was not ready for that intro. Thank you, guys. I was actually curious. I was wondering if I was going to get a nickname or not, and I got two. So I'm very happy.
What's going on, man? Obviously, this is Maurice, who I went to Austin, Texas with for the Formula One race. Great experience. Glad he's able to give us a few minutes just to kind of recap. I know I talked to a lot of people on social media about the F1 races because I just got into it recently. But if you want to give your team your prior experience to F1 and then leading into this weekend with, and I'll kind of piggyback on what you have to say because it was a great weekend of racing.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me, guys. I just wanted to say that, and I repeated this since the end of the race on Sunday, and I can't stop telling it to as many people that asked me about it. It was 100% the best sporting event that I've ever been to. And I say event because it was just that. It was a full weekend. It was Friday through Sunday. It was all inclusive. It was almost like a festival more than a sporting event in a way. And it was amazing. I got into F1 at a very young age. My father, similar to soccer, which is a big sport in our family, I watched it with him growing up, him and my brother, of course. And they were big Ferrari fans, as 99% of people who come from Italy are. So we grew up watching Michael Schumacher. For those that are familiar with that name and that driver, he was kind of the entire sport. He was the Lewis Hamilton of the late 90s, early 2000s, absolutely dominant. And I would say that probably in my later teenage years and early 20s, I lost a little bit of interest in the sport. It's a sport that struggles with parity overall. There's drivers and teams that'll take over for decades at a time, and sometimes the competitiveness in the sport is not at the highest level. But I think what changed for the sport, and a big reason that Ray got into it, and a lot of other people that I speak to about it, is that the Netflix Drive to Survive series, which actually did a great job of getting me and my brother back into it as well. We watched it together, told Ray about it. we all started watching YouTube videos together, episodes together, and over the past year, I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Past
Yeah.
well, not even. I started watching it less than 6 months ago, no more than 6 months ago. So I'm brand fucking new to it.
Wow. And that just shows you how well it does drawing people in, right? Because you're someone that's only been watching for 6 months, and you're as all in as I've ever seen you into any kind of sport, you know.
Yeah. So obviously we go in. You've been watching it for a while. Obviously got into it at a young age, and I got into it very. So it's good to see the different dynamic of obviously the knowledge that you had about the sport, but we both went into it not knowing any of the experience, and that's kind of what I wanted to recap with Fort, because I have yet to tell him anything. I love when our best content, I feel like, for it is when we don't talk all week and then we kind of recap our, what we got going on, because you're hearing it for the first time. And I'll let Maurice lead off with it because we have him for, not a limited time, but a quality amount of time. And there were some nuances that we went into it expecting, gate, trying to smuggle in some things, we had general admission, trying to move around. Smuggling meaning alcohol. We did bring in some happy chocolates that had some infused stuff with it that we did, but we knew nothing going into it. We kind of used day one, because it's one of 3 days. We kind of used day one as a like a tester to see what we could get away with.
Run.
Exactly, a trial run to see what we could not only bring in. Literally a qualifier practice run. It was our practice and it was their practice. But we used day one. Yeah, we used day one as just to see not only what we could bring in, but also the best sites, the best view, because we were general admission and we had an idea that we wanted to get into one of the stands. And I'll let Maurice kind of recap that experience of getting into the whether it's security and then also the stands, because it was a phenomenal thing where I think if you're a listener of this podcast and you go to the one in Miami, the one in Vegas, you should know a couple tips and tricks, because you'll save about $150 every single day. So go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. And we couldn't stop talking about it the whole weekend. Every time I wouldn't say get away with something, because I feel like that has more of a negative connotation, but every time we had a lucky break, let's say, it just blew us away. And these lucky breaks just kept happening and happening and happening. So obviously every sporting event, there's security at an entrance, right? And usually that security is you have to walk through a metal detector. If you have a bag, if a bag is even allowed, right? You can't bring it. If a bag is allowed, they usually search it. You can't bring water bottles or any other liquids. So the first day, I think we brought maybe a couple beers to test it out, if I remember correctly, and these plastic little flasks that Ray is famous for using, and they're very clutch if you want to bring.
Never leave home without it.
So day one, I had most of them are in my backpack, and they're hidden pretty well. Walk right through security, just like smiling and waving. Not even so much as like hey, is that a backpack, or like, can I quickly look in that? Nothing. Ray was even so flabbergasted by the whole thing. He went to give the lady his fanny pack, and she was just, like, looked at him with a blank stare. So zero security. We could have walked in, guys, with literally anything,
anything.
Anything. So that was wild in and of itself. And that lack of security continued pretty much the whole weekend. The only time they searched the bag was on Saturday, and we had 9 beers in the cooler at that point. We were like, fuck it, why not?
We were equipped with 9 beers, 3 or 4 waters, and 2 flasks of liquor, and none of it even got seen, because we hid it well, but we didn't even probably need to hide it.
No, not at all. Yeah, sent us right through. People were super nice, by the way, both employees and people that we met just throughout the weekend. I'll let Ray talk to you guys about our race day. But the seats was even more impressive. So obviously along a long track. For those who are not familiar with F1, it's a long race track. This one, I think, was like 4 miles or so. And obviously there's huge hills and areas around it. So there's a lot of walking involved. And there's multiple grandstands. Some are more prestigious than others. Obviously the ones right by the grid, the starting grid, are like the most expensive seats. But there's different areas. And like you have different vantage points of the track, different turns, different corners, like different cool parts of the track you want to go to. So for all 3 days, somehow, some way, we were able to get onto a grandstand. And I'm telling you, we had general admission, which means you don't have a seat. You just kind of wander the track and view from different fields or hills or different like kind of communal areas. And every single time we would walk up to a stand, just do the normal smile and wave. I mean, me and Ray have been in sales for our entire lives, and a good chunk of that was direct sales. So we know how to talk to people, make good eye contact, smile, and act like you belong there. And 2 out of the 3 times, people didn't even check our ticket. We just waltzed right in, smile and wave, and right out of there, right to a seat. Saturday was the only time someone asked us for a ticket, and I was just like, oh no, I don't have a ticket. I was just hoping to take a quick picture because we were like an hour early before qualifying started. We just never left, and we had an amazing time. And I would say, I mean, out of the 3 days, if you would have accumulated the seats that we got for the value that they were, if we had bought them on Ticketmaster or StubHub, we probably got over $1,000 to $1,500 value on top of what we paid. So it was insane, absolutely insane.
Yeah, I would say the general admission for Austin, I would guess that it was around $500 for 3-day pass. We paid about, let's call it $750. If you accumulate the opportunity cost, what we took advantage of for the 3 days where we sat for practice, qualifying, and the race, you're looking at another $1,000 to $2,000, mostly closer to $2,000 easily that we took advantage of, because the Sunday race, that's not including the drinks, right? So that's another $150 a day. The last day, Sunday, we were the most prepared for because we kind of had 2 days kind of practice trial runs. And then that third day for it, Mission Impossible, bro. Oh, he didn't even mention the best part, or the other good part is the first day we were in a rush. So we were practice. Obviously, you don't know F1. Yeah. You don't know F1 for it, but it's good for me to explain it so I could. A lot of people.
Yeah, I was just about to ask.
Like,
it's 3 days, so like just kind of break that down: Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like.
So basically, you got 2 practices on Friday. You got a third practice most of the time on Saturday, and 2 hours later on Saturday you have qualifying, which means that's where they rank you. Yeah, you got to practice, you got to feel it out, you got to do strategy. I've learned, I thought it was stupid in the beginning, but I've learned that it's very crucial. Like every lap that you could practice is huge. And then obviously the big race. So we go to we're scheduled, the P1 practice 1 starts at 2 p.m. and usually it's 2 p.m. sharp. Not all the drivers come out right away. We were always an hour away. Our Airbnb was, like you said in the beginning, in the middle of nowhere. Great spot. Shout out that Airbnb because it's called Chili Pepper, Drive or Chili Pepper Falls. Great Airbnb experience, 5 stars. But it was an hour out. It was an hour away. But the hour we used, what we did was every time we used an hour to like either eat, drink a little bit, not too much, where you're drinking and driving, but responsibly, a little sip. But so the first day we used as, we were late. We were projected to get there at 2:15. So we're like, there's no way we're going to get there at 2:15 and even get in the place at 3. We pulled up at 2:05, parked, and got in the place at 2:15. And that was the first day where we got checked for nothing. So we were like, holy shit. We not only did we get there super fast without like driving crazy, but we got in the process of getting in. Obviously, this might be an anomaly. It might not be like that for Miami. If you guys go, if you're in South Florida, it probably won't. Definitely but Austin, it was not packed. And we paid $50 for parking right outside. So then the second day, Maurice does, we're a little bit earlier. Maurice does the ways, and it directs us in the back ways of, pun intended, the back ways of the track. And it puts us in a position where we're like, yo, you see that grass field over there with 5 cars? There's no sign. There's nobody monitoring it. Let's just pull over and park for free. We pull over.
By the way, like what, 200 feet from the track?
Literally, yeah. About
Yeah.
I would say 200 yards from the track, at least another 50 yards from the security point. So yeah, it's literally right there. So we park, we walk in, no issues, no problem. We have a great day. The next day, we're like, all right, well, if we got away with it once, in my head, I'm like, what are the chances we get away with it again? So we're like, fuck it. We're probably gonna get towed. We might get a ticket. We parked there again. It was just like overall, we want to brag about this to everybody because I guarantee you, if this happens to anybody else, it doesn't go as smooth. Everything in the weekend worked out as far as the event, the flight, the Airbnb, the travel. Anything you have to add on for that event that I missed, or little nuances that if you do go to Austin, because if somebody goes to Austin next year, they're going to have that same experience that we just had. There's no way they boost up security because I don't think anything crazy happened that weekend for them to, all of a sudden uptick security.
I agree. It was a very like trusting, friendly, and family environment, which I thought was nice. And I don't know if maybe you get away with all of the things, right? The parking, the stand, but for the most part, I feel like if you're going on a budget or if you're a younger person that wants to experience the race, just give it a shot. You know what I mean? Do it with a smile. You're already in the event, and I think I saw on Twitter it was the most heavily populated. The most heavily populated race on the calendar with 440,000 people at the event over a course of 3 days. So almost 500,000 people were at that track that weekend. So the scope of it is so big that these people that are hired to make sure that you're in the right seat or you don't have a beer with you, they're just overwhelmed with people at the end of the day. And as long as you're not causing too much attention or being rowdy or doing anything, overtly negative, I think you can go and have a great time. I would say as far as the actual race itself, it was one of the best races I've ever seen.
That's it's funny because look how hyped we are about the experience, and we forgot to talk about the actual race. But go ahead, talk about the actual race real quick. Like the race itself and the qualifying was the most electric part, and we didn't even we took more time to talk about that, the experience about it versus the race, and the race was much more better than the experience. So go ahead.
For sure. So qualifying was absolutely electric. Practice was cool because it was the first time any of us had seen the cars in person, and they're loud and they're fast and they're impressive. But it's still practice, so they're not pushing pretty much for any of it, right? They're figuring out their different driving settings for the weekend. They're testing out tires. They're testing out a whole bunch of stuff because every track is different. Every climate is different. Tires react in different ways. So there's a lot of things that go into practice. Qualifying is just putting up the fastest possible lap you can. And you saw it. I mean, we sat in turn 19, which was the second to last turn on the track. And it was at the end of a DRS straight, which is basically just a very fast straightaway. And you saw cars going 160, 170 miles per hour into almost a full stop and then re-accelerating. So the visual of that was unbelievable. The noise of the downshift, the braking and the upshift in that corner was unbelievable. And you just couldn't look away. It was like mesmerizing. I turned to Ray at one point and it was like watching the ocean, like on a very like wavy, stormy day where you're just like staring at it like with your mouth open. You just can't look away. Every time a car went by, you were like, oh, it was incredible. And then Carlos Sainz, which was a Ferrari driver, got pole on Saturday, which was fun. Obviously me and my brother are big Ferrari fans. Unfortunately, he crashed out of the race pretty much immediately.
First lap
on Sunday. First lap. Unfortunately, Russell took him out. But I mean, as far as excitement, the Austin track is one of the best tracks on the calendar for overtaking and passing. So it was a highly offensive game, I guess you could put it in other sports terms. There was a lot of changes, a lot of lead changes. There was passes, there was crashes, everything you want in a race.
Yeah, I couldn't put it better myself. I've been to football, baseball, basketball, soccer, all that. And, I would put this up to, you can't even put it as sports. It's like concert would be the next thing, because what a concert makes you feel into your body when you hear music, when you're around great people and you're just having fun. It felt like a concert But then you had so many other super stimulating things. I remember you telling a couple people like the helicopter following the cars was exhilarating. Like just hearing and seeing the chopper, seeing the guys go, and I've never seen a TV doesn't do it justice. And hopefully for it, maybe you could come with us because we're definitely going in May 2023 to Miami Grand Prix. I have to check that off my list now that I did this. And it will be half the price of what I did. What's up?
I was saying, sorry, May 7th. Put it on your calendar.
May 7th. Yes, please. May 7th. It'll be half the price because we don't have to travel. We could do that. But to see them go from 160 into a turn and barely brake and then get out of that turn and go 185, 190. It just, you can't explain it. The TV no longer does that justice when I watch F1. It almost looks like on the TV they're going slow. I don't get it. And then when you're there, you go, oh, this is I would never ride passenger in that car. Knowing that they're not going to crash, I still would shit my pants. Yeah, so that was a great recap. Any questions for it? I know you're always interested in stuff. Obviously, your brother, shout out Fort David, he watches F1. Text him or maybe sent a couple of snaps. But we got to be on the track. I kissed the track. I ate some asphalt by accident. Mo got a great picture of me. It looks like I'm wearing spandex, but I'm wearing tight shorts. Yeah, we got to walk the track, see Green Day concert on what was that, Friday? There was Ed Sheeran that we didn't stick around because we did eat a little chocolate shrooms and we had to get home before it really hit us. So, we didn't want to be on that hour drive before that hit us. And then Sunday we were just cooked. Shout out the Giants. They took care of business, 6-1. Yeah, anything from you for it?
Shit, I mean, like, it's going to change how you watch it now, right? How you were just saying on TV, like, you think you're still going to get that same high, like, when you watch it on TV versus now that you, like, were actually there in person?
Oh, absolutely. I think, I was already getting very much into the sport over the past few years with that Netflix doc, and it obviously brings up childhood memories. It's something I grew up watching, and then being there live kind of just brought it all together for me. It was almost like a religious experience. I was like, oh, this is why. You know what I mean? Because my dad would tell me about races that he had been to, and how impressive it was. And like Ray said, right before the Netflix doc, just watching it on TV, it just kind of looks like cars somewhat quickly going around the track, occasionally passing each other. But like everything that goes into it, even just like watching like you said, the helicopter, like follow a car into a corner, like do a full 180 sharp turn. Like it was just like all of this was just incredible.
And the crowd gets into it too. Like we had a crash happen in front of us. It wasn't enough to knock the guy out, but the guy over, he probably got locked up trying to pass somebody. I didn't really see it. I got to watch that replay, which I'll do after this. But hit into our stands right literally within 25, 50 yards. And everybody's like, cheers, like it's a touchdown. And obviously we're not cheering because he crashed because we hate the guy. Actually, he's a crowd favorite. Shout out Latifi. Shout out Canada. But it was more like it was just like action. And then you get there's also TVs set up in certain areas and also audio where you could watch the race happening when it's not in your corner. So I thought, it's going to be boring because you're going to be sitting in one corner watching a race go around, then you're going to be bored for the 90% of it. But you're like, people are on their phones. People have some radio, so they're engaged, but also they have TV set up, every so often so you could see what the race is. And you could hear the roar like behind you happening when a driver passes by somebody else. It really is like, I always thought racing was boring because all I knew was NASCAR. And then when I watched the Netflix doc, and I was like, oh, this is not what I thought it could be, because you got the business, which I love, the little drama. And then when you get to know the drivers, you get to know like which guy you like because of their personality, which guy you like to make fun of. And we have our inside jokes. But it really is like when you put it all together, it's one of the greatest sports I've ever come across. And that includes everything that I was brought up on.
Hell
for
yeah.
sure. And just to add on that really quick, I was also a little bit concerned because I knew that they had some TVs and maybe a loudspeaker, but overall the viewing experience was limited, right? And we had the pleasure of being in a stand for all 3 days, right? So if we were general admission, it probably would have been even less than that. But there was almost something nice about the confusion of this. The fact that like, oh my God, what happened? People are like turning around and like, he passed who? Wait, no, I think that was him actually that passed him. So like you're figuring out what's going on as it's happening. And it almost makes it like a group event. I don't know. Like you're turning around, you're talking to the guy behind you, then you're like bumping Ray. You're like, wait, I think he actually been sick because the other
You're right.
Sick. So it's like it's a kind of a comforting kind of confusion that just draws you in even more because you're trying to figure out where everyone is, what's happening. It's all happening so fast.
No, you're right about that because there was a couple times where like Verstappen was in front of Lewis and in our turn, we're not moving. So we could see like, okay, wow, he's right behind him. Next lap happens. It's like, whoa, and then I would count. I'd be like 1, 2, oh, he's 3 seconds. And then he'd come around again and be like 1, 2, oh, he's 5 seconds. So he gained 2. So you're almost like playing a game with yourself, looking up at because they rank the top 10. It's just it's so stimulating where you can't not pay attention and you can't not look at something pertaining to the race. You're doing a lot of work. Your head hurts because you're moving like this all the time, like a tennis match. But overall, it's like even if we just went to the race, it would have been great. But putting it all together, I'd never recommend anybody going to just one day of the 3. Shell out a couple extra $100 to go to all 3 because you will not be no one I know, including us, have ever put anything less than 9 out of 10 on it. You know what I mean? Anything last to share with that, Mo?
No, I mean, I think we covered the big part. The last thing that like really, I just wanted to mention because it was like kind of a sweet moment. We made a lot of just like little friends throughout the weekend, but on qualifying, we sat in front of I would say a 45, 50-year-old Filipino gentleman who actually we sat in his seat because obviously we didn't have seats. And then he was super nice about it. He was just like, you stay there. I'll sit in the seat below you guys. And we just kind of got to talking. He was wearing a Yankees hat, so Ray was talking to him. And then he was just a friendly guy. And, through talking to him, we realized that his son was supposed to be there with him. And he was also a nurse. They were both nurses. And whatever, he got called in to work last minute and couldn't make it. And we just like ended up bonding with this older Filipino guy who we were just like his 3 sons for the weekend. And it kind of was nice because like, I kind of wish my dad was there. You know what I mean? And he wished his son was there. We both kind of filled that role for each other, and it was
that's awesome.
Kind of a touching moment. It was nice.
Yeah, very. Shout out Renee, our race daddy, as Renee. We called him. Daddy. We will watch F1 together because it's in Mexico this weekend. So it's like usually that's why I like F1. It's usually in the morning, so I can wake up on a Saturday or Sunday, 10 a.m., 9 a.m., put it on, and usually watch it either hungover or tired as fuck. But this will be at 4 p.m. on Sunday in Mexico, which is happening at the same time as the Giants game. So hopefully, Mo, if you want to join me in the lab, you're more than welcome. Anything else you want to add to it? Obviously, we had you for a short amount of time. There's topics this week that we would have loved to go into, but it's good because we'll save you for another time that when we need a little filler, a little guest spot. But any shout outs, anything you want to talk about real quick, mention, it's your time.
Shout out mom and dad. I love you both. I know actually Antonio from time to time watching the cast, so you have a fan in him as well. I love you. And thanks for having me on, guys. I'd love to be back. Talk F1, talk soccer, talk football, even if I don't know it too well. But I appreciate you having me on.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, I appreciate you coming in. Last minute, super last minute. We were supposed to have another guest enter the lab today, but that guest will be on in the next couple episodes. So we appreciate Maurice answering our bell. But brother, thank you for entering the lab. Now you may exit the lab. Peace, bro.
Peace.
I love
Mo. Great time breaking it down. I appreciate you being patient. Obviously, it's weird. It's kind of weird that you weren't there and you weren't. Hopefully, you were able to hear that and live vicariously through. Because as you could tell, verbally, physically, I was so excited about talking about it.
About that. Yeah, of course,
dude. And it's something I just got into, so it's not like something like I have like a childhood memory with like he does. They have like childhood memories of waking up. Like his dad's first F1 race was in Monza in Italy. Hopefully I got that right. I think I did. But like it's like it goes back 50 years with them. And for me it's like it's not even it might not be even 50 days.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
No,
So hopefully you guys enjoyed that little breakdown of F1. I hit up a couple people to listen to this episode just in case, because if you can't get out to Miami, because it might be a little expensive. Miami was the most viewed F1 race of all time. Actually, I think on television.
I saw that on Twitter.
Yeah, and the Miami Dolphins. I think I said this on this podcast a few episodes ago. On the Miami Dolphins. Owner is set to make more in that weekend than all of the 8 games at home. So it lets you know how much sponsor, how much money. Brad Pitt was there. Shaq delivered the trophy. Green Day performed. Ed Sheeran. It was a lot of other celebrities in the paddock. But yeah, it was a great experience. So if you're not able to get to Miami, and you're not able, because that's going to be expensive, and you can't get to Vegas, which is brand new next season, and that will be. You want to talk money? Bro, you're going to need at least $3,000 to go visit Vegas and go to all 3 days. I'm telling you, if this trip, I don't want to put a specific number on it, but it was at least $1,500. And then it was, I'll put a range between $1,500 and $2,500. It was, you decide for yourself which was the higher number, or the lower. Vegas will be at least 3,000, but Austin, it's probably one of the 2 most affordable ones you could get to. So, all right, man. Now that we wrapped up F1, we got that out of the way. Appreciate Mo again, and there was topics that are going.
On. I got to get this out the way because I really want to know how you feel about this, and it's something that's really close to your heart. And I just want to know what's good, bro. What happened? What happened, bro?
That's fucked up.
Come on, man. I wanted y'all to win just because of you, but there's nothing better in sports when the Yankees lose.
It's right. It's funny. It's funny. There's nothing better. There's nothing better when they win. There's nothing better when they lose.
Wait, hold on. I got one more for you.
We got served humble pie. We wanted Houston, as we should have, because they made it six times in a row to the ALCS. We should demand Houston if we're going to get over that hump. And they served us. They didn't even serve us a piece of humble pie. They served us a whole 6-course meal. Yeah, a whole broom of. Damn, that was tough. I'm glad I was away because game 1 happened right before I left Austin, and then all 3 games happened when I was in Austin. So it helped a little bit that I didn't really.
I have one question.
Yes.
For all of New York.
Yes.
New York. Who's your daddy now? I just want to know. I want an answer, and I want it quick. New York, who's your daddy? Should I say the Astros?
The Astros are our daddy. I'll admit it.
Anymore. It's not me. Who's your daddy? I want to ask New York.
And also, before we go,
if this was a Game of Thrones family tree, it would be the Twins. It's like the Twins and the Red Sox at one point, and then the Yankees are their daddies, and then the Red Sox somehow had birth and then became the Yankees' daddies over the years because they eliminated us, and now Houston is like Houston's our poppy. There's nothing I'll admit. I hate that team, but you usually hate a team for a reason, and the reason is because they beat you. So I was away for those days, so it hurts a little less that I didn't get to watch 100% of it. But I moved on to the Brooklyn Nets and the New York Football Giants. So,
all right, so I want to, because I don't watch baseball that much anymore, and not too many people do. But the Astros are in the World Series again after
4 times now. 4 out of the last 6.
After the whole cheating scandal. If they go and win this year, do you think that goes away? Because baseball fans are very prideful and they hold grudges. and it's all this unwritten rule bullshit and whatever. Are people going to forget about that because they win this year, or is that still going to be brought up?
So it's funny you mentioned this because I was doing the front of my front and back lawn were calling my name for the last couple of weeks of mowing it. Then when I got home last night, I was like, damn, I gotta do something to this forest in front of my house. So I was mowing the lawn today, listening to a bunch of podcasts just to get caught up from this weekend because I barely listened to. And I was listening to Bill Burr, and Bill Burr has a great way of if you don't listen to Bill Burr and you like podcasts, he's a great he's just a straight monologue. An hour of him just cracking jokes, reading emails, and venting. But he broke this down. He actually said when he was listed, he's a Red Sox fan from Boston. He was saying it's crazy how none of the commentators on any network at any time mention that if the Houston Astros win, this will be their first real championship or vice versa. They he said almost, and I agree, MLB almost did like a gag order on networks talking about it because it's not good for the sport, right? Every time you bring up the Astros cheated, it's not good for gambling, not good for the sport. So I'm pretty sure that MLB told them not to mention it because I didn't hear it at all in pregame, postgame, whatever. Do I think? No. To make a long story short, this team is legit, and they only have like 3 players from that cheating team, by the way. They have a lot of young talent that they brought up since and that are like the ALCS MVP Pena. He's a rookie. After they got rid of their best player, Correa, offensively, him and Altuve, they replaced him with a rookie shortstop. And he had a great season. And he won MVP of the ALCS. So, unbiasedly, and I think I could do this, it's like they got to the ALCS 6 years in a row. Yes, for maybe 3 of them, did they have a little help? Yes. But the last 2 or 3, maybe, they didn't. like they got caught in 2019 going into 2020. They've made it all 3 years, bruh. So it's like they're not cheating anymore. So even if you wipe down the first 3 and they never won a title and then you only talk about the last 3, that's still more 3 times than us, still more 3 times than Boston or Tampa. So they're legit. They're a great organization that knows how to get players, how to develop players, and the Yankees have not figured that out yet. They figured it out on a scale, but not close. Houston Astros are this decade's legit team, whether they cheated or not. I don't take it away from them all the way.
I'm glad you said that because that kind of goes in. I didn't even think I just brought this shit up just to troll you. I didn't really think we were gonna just get into baseball.
No, I love it. I love it.
So what happens with me with baseball is there's so many aspects to it and so many different things, so many moving pieces. It's not like football where you can be like, all right, what was the deciding factor that this team didn't get there? Like with the Yankees, yeah, they got the highest payroll. They got everything going in their favor. What is it? What's going to get them over the hump? Is it managing? Is it hitting? Is it pitching? Is it like why haven't y'all been able to like just because it's hard, bro. Like baseball is hard. There's 162 games. It's probably the hardest sport. People don't even know because they probably don't watch it. But like to hit a baseball is the hardest thing in sports. So like, what are y'all missing to at least make it to the World Series?
Consistency. I listen to I listen to a couple podcasts because I'm no shame of. That's why I love what we do here on this podcast. We're never like, oh, don't listen to them or like I don't care. You know what I mean? Like we promote other podcasts, we promote other platforms. If you listen to us, great. If you don't, whatever. Right? We're here for ourselves. But first and importantly, Short Porch on Barstool, I listen to because they're super. Personality, emotional, and they just have hot takes. But then I listen to Talking Yanks, which is John Boy. They're on Yes Network, super successful. They've only been around for like 5-6 years, maybe 7. And they're on the fucking Yes Network. They're like at games. They have media credentials. And that motivates me so much from a level of, hey, you don't know where shit could go in a short amount of time. They said it. They said there's no consistency. The Yankees. Oh, you're asking great questions, by the way. I want to give a shout out to you because we did not rehearse this at all, and this is exactly what I would say if somebody asked me, like, break down the Yankee season. I would say exactly this. This is good.
I've been doing
You've
a
been
lot
in the
of
lab.
yeah, you could say, officially in the lab. I've just been watching a lot of like different things, and
Good.
I've been reading, and I'm on my mental health, and just
you've had to stay in a little bit and grow your mustache out,
Oh,
so you have
my friend. I told my friend, I was like, "Yo, I'm kind of drunk right now, like whatever." On Saturday, and she's like, "Oh, did you stay in, or like did you go out?" And I'm like, "Yo, I shaved my mustache. Like, I'm not going outside the crib looking like
oh my
this.
god,
What the fuck? I might get randomly searched as soon as I walk into a bar. No, I'm good. Like, I can't go out, bro. Like, fuck that. I be going to work with like my hoodie up and shit like this, walking around like this, bro. Like, I don't even want to go to the gym. This shit is ass." But surprisingly enough, no one said anything to me or asked me anything or anything. So
it's just the contrast. The contrast, you have like such a got no homo, you got some girth here, and then it's like nothing. So the contrast throws you off. If you listen this, it wouldn't be as bad. All right, let me get back to your question though. To keep it simple, it's consistency. We've had, if you look at the 4 games we just played, we didn't have the same lineup once.
I saw that. The only person like in the thing was Judge. He was
batting second
all 4 games. Makes
and
no sense.
that by itself, if I was to answer in like 10 words, that would be the end of the question. Like, no consistency with lineup. Judge was the only. And that tells you everything about the season. If Judge doesn't hit 62 home runs, we do not win that division. Like, that literally tells you why we needed him so much.
So I understand, like, hitters are supposed to hit, like, that's their job. Like, you're supposed to go out there and hit the baseball. But now, like, lineup, that's managing. That's the manager, because, like,
and that's the other part.
The players ain't going to change the lineup. Like, it comes down to the manager. And, I mean, I see a lot of stuff on Twitter. Like, there's a lot of Yankee fans that don't like Boone. And, I mean, I don't know, because I don't watch the Yankees or watch baseball as much as I should.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I don't know. It seems like he was just kind of given that role, given that job.
It's because most people don't know. He's a puppet at the end of the day. The GM, a lot of franchises now, the GM runs the team. The manager is just the guy that says all the right things, is the face of the franchise. But what I found out listening to Talking Yanks was, because they have a lot more insight than I do, obviously. They have sources I don't. Boone doesn't make the lineup, just him. He's not in his office making up the lineup and going, here's the card. They're doing it as a committee, meaning the GM has some say, the manager, the bench coach, the analytics. So they're over there doing like 3 to 5 people either physically in a room or sending their opinion about what the lineup should look like. And then they're just making that decision, because not only offensively did we not have the same lineup all 4 games, we had 3 shortstops, 3 left fielders. Josh Donaldson, we let him start the entire, which doesn't make sense. So we had rookies coming in. We had Matt Carpenter, who was injured for 2 months and didn't get any real reps at the end of the season, came in super cold, which that's our fault. We should have gave him reps at the end of the year. So, and then to top it off, which most people don't know, maybe they forgot, 3 of our top 5 relief pitchers got hurt, out for the season. Mike King was our best reliever statistically, got hurt in like July, out for the year. Aroldis Chapman, he wasn't our best, but he just decided not to play for the Yankees anymore.
I don't know what's going on with that guy. Like, I don't get him. He has his stretches.
My man, he's got that Cuban in him. He just fled. he just knows. He's just fleeing from situations he don't like.
He got that 106 miles per hour tatted and hasn't done shit since. All right, so
did he really get that? Was that the tattoo?
Yeah, he got 106 tatted. Like a
plane. That was the tattoo? I didn't know that.
That's old, though. That's old.
Oh, okay. I thought that was a tattoo that got infected.
Oh, I don't know.
Remember?
Okay. I don't remember something getting infected, but he did get 106 tatted on him. This was back when he was with, wasn't he with the Reds?
Cincinnati Reds, yeah.
Yeah, this was back. All right, so I don't want to keep talking about baseball because there's a lot.
No, it's cool. No, I like this. I think people would be interested in hearing just feedback from it, but God, because we're not like breaking down fucking anything that people.
This is the last Yankees question I got, and I'm sure you already know what it is. Y'all bringing back Judge because he's getting the bag. Every team, any team that can afford him, is gonna throw whatever they can at him because of what he just did, which was break records, unprecedented type shit. And yeah, I get it. Yankee Stadium's a smaller stadium, but this dude hits the baseball 500 feet. He's going to hit home runs wherever the fuck he goes. It doesn't matter. And it seemed like when I saw a video, it seemed like he wanted to come back, but players always have that kind of attitude after. And you just lost the series, like get into it. You know, you're one step away from the World Series, so whatever. But what do you think? Is he coming back?
I think overall, my gut tells me yes, but I'm keeping like I'd say 75% of me says yes. I think 25% says he wants to win, and if things behind the scenes are going a little chaotic, because he seems like he only wants to win. Like, and a lot of athletes say they want to win, but like this motherfucker is one of the most unselfish athletes when in an interview, unless he goes behind the scenes and he's a Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, there's no, like, this guy is such a good dude. Like, when he talks, he only talks about the team. Even when he hit 62, like, it was just like, or 61, he was mad, like, typical Derek Jeter type vibe. Like, he was upset that they didn't win that game, or 62, I think it was. And it was just like, that's who he is. He wants to win, and he wants, I think, consistency and know that if he's here for 8-10 years, that they're going to do everything they can. And obviously, you're the New York Yankees, you're going to, but I think they got to figure out the GM situation ASAP, who the GM is. It's been Cashman for now, 28 years. Then they got to figure out if they want to keep Boone. I don't think he stays or leaves because Boone's the manager or not the manager. I don't think that's as long as he knows. Yeah, that's not a deciding factor. I think it's the GM and moving forward, like what the culture is. And the teams you could go to, Dodgers, Giants, Mets. Nobody else really has the money to throw out like that.
No,
not Boston? A lot of teams do. No, Boston's have become cheap lately. In the last 5 years, they've become very, like the Yankees have. Obviously, the Yankees have a lot of money out there, but the Boston Red Sox have become more budget, more smart with their money, who they're giving contracts to. Right now, we only have Cole, who's on a big major deal, and Stanton, who's on a big major deal. Other than that, we don't have. The Dodgers have like 6 guys on major deals, so we could definitely
Freeman, Mookie,
if we want
to,
and that doesn't include. They got so much. They got Bauer, who's not playing, that they'll probably get money back from. But it's insane how much money the Dodgers have, and they lost in the first round, or the second round, which was fucking wild. So overall, I think Judge resigns.
Realistically, what's his bag? What's his contract? This is going to be the biggest contract in baseball history.
What's his bag? Let's see. I'll tell you right now.
I'm not pocket watching, but like, what's he going to get? Because Trout got what? Was it like 400 something mil, almost 500?
Yeah, but that was a few years ago. It's like updated now. Who's the last person? Who's the last person to be in their prime? Because he's in his prime. He's 30, and in baseball, you could really be in your prime till like 36, truly.
And if he stays in the AL, he could play DH. Well, I mean, it doesn't matter now. Both leagues got DH. So, I mean, it is what it is at that point. But he could play another 10 years and still hit 30, 40 homers.
Oh, 100%. I'm going to look it up real quick because I'm curious myself. But I have it right here. We got, not including starting pitchers. Oh, my God. For example, we have Anthony Rendon at the age of 33 making $38 million. That tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, he signed with the Angels.
Yeah. We got Mike Trout, $37 million. We got Corey Seager, just signed a deal last year. He's at 29. Judge is 30, 31, 35. So you're looking at 40. You're looking at $40 million. If Anthony Rendon's making 38 and Mike Trout's making 37.
40, dog.
It has to start at 40. So you're doing $40 million per year times, let's say, at least 8 years. you're looking at 320. You're probably looking at 385, 395 million. Maybe he wants to get his agent and him want to get up to that 400 because he might be the first one to get to that 400 million bag. But we'll see. Nolan Arenado making a ton of money. He signed a 8-year 260. Yeah, you're looking at 40 million a year for an Aaron Judge.
I think he's gonna get Mahomes type money, dog. Like,
well,
I think he's
the thing with Aaron Judge is he's so marketable. So it's like not only are you paying this guy a lot of money on the field, everybody likes him. Even teams that don't like the team that he plays for like him.
And it just sucks that baseball is so ass at marketing because this dude is the face of baseball right now. It's literally him and Ohtani. Like there's no one else. Like we're literally talking about Aaron Judge and the New York Yankees right now, and they're not even in the World Series. Like no one's talking about the Phillies and how hot they are.
Yeah,
and
shout out the Phillies and Phillies and Astros for making it.
Yeah,
we rocking with Phillies though. Fuck the Astros. Sorry.
Yeah, fuck the Astros. No.
I hate that I have to say the Phillies because nobody from New York, New Jersey should ever root for the any Philadelphia team. But you got to count your losses. You got to be like, all right, I'd rather this team win than and I've said this on the podcast. I don't believe in the rule of thumb is if your team loses to Team X, you should root for Team X to win it all because then you lost to the world. Nope. I usually more than likely want that team to eat, die without family members at their funeral. That's how vicious I want to be.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I'm with you there. NL East has been 19 years to the day. Marlins won the World Series against your New York Yankees, so got to give a shout out to that team. But no, I mean, like Phillies are hot, bro. They're hot. Like I'm gonna tune in. I'm gonna tune in for the World Series. When does it start? Tomorrow?
Oh shit, that's a great fucking question. See, this is when I stopped paying attention. Yeah, to Friday actually. Friday 8:03 p.m.
So weird because I feel like every year sports like get later and later on. Like the Super Bowl used to be in the middle of January, end of January. Now it's in the middle of February. Like World Series, like I just said, ended. The Marlins World Series.
That should be a 7:30. That should be a 7:30 kickoff. I mean, first pitch because that 30 minutes is big because you got to assume the game's going to go minimum 3 hours. That's going to put you at 11. Usually, World Series there's a lot of pitching changes, a lot of commercials, a lot of bullshit. Every game's going to end at like 11:30, 11:45.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely going to watch the World Series. I think this might be one of the better World Series just because. Just because the teams are evenly matched. Maybe not evenly matched, but in baseball, it's all about who's hot, bro.
Yeah, it really is. We've seen it with the Nationals. We've seen it with the Braves. This could be the third NL East team that goes on that. They're hot. Maybe not the best team talent-wise, but they're the hottest team at that moment. And damn, if the Phillies do that, that would be crazy for the NL East to produce 3 World Series champions in like 4 years.
Also, another thing that I might want the Astros to win, but like the last few times the Phillies have won the World Series, we've gone into a recession. So as a country,
2008, yeah, you're right. Yankees won the year after that. That's funny.
That's crazy, but
history has a weird way of repeating itself or making it happen.
So I mean, look, bro.
Before we get into some outside of sport news, do you want to real quick give like a 2-3 minute synopsis? I didn't watch any of it. UFC 280. Kind of break down the best matches, what you've seen, what your opinion. Give us 2-3 minutes.
Yeah. So I mean. Bro, look, I understand why the UFC as a company and as a business has to do cards all around the world and everything. And this card was stacked. Like on paper, this was probably the most stacked card in years. Some people were saying all the time. In my opinion, it did not live up to the hype. I don't know what it was. I told Mike this because, we were watching it together. I was like, bro, UFC just doesn't hit different when there's sunlight outside. There's just something about it, bro. Like it's totally different. And I mean, there wasn't really like that the prelims were kind of all right. They were whatever. And then, I mean, main card, like, at the end of the day, it disappointed. Kaylin Shukagian and Manon Fiore, like, Manon Fiore is legit. These French fighters are coming up. She did her thing and went to decision. She might fight Valentina Shevchenko soon. She said she wants one more fight. In my opinion, she's ducking it because no fighter is going to say, I want one more fight before I go to the champ. I want to fight the champ. So, whatever. Then you had Beneil Dariush, Gamrot. I had Gamrot winning that fight. He's been balling, but Dariush shut me up, bro. This man has bricks for hands. He was throwing. He did his thing. That division, lightweight division in the UFC is fucking stacked. It's crazy. It's crazy. So is bantamweight. We had back-to-back bantamweight fights. Sean O'Malley, Porter Yan. Bro, that fight, man. Yan had like 6-7 takedowns. He had ground control time. Yeah, O'Malley had more significant strikes. He fucking cut Yan open. Yan's never really been cut open like that. But I thought Yan won that fight pretty convincingly. And it kind of sucks that Yan is in a kind of way like a whipping boy now. So O'Malley's career can move up. Not taking anything away from O'Malley because O'Malley fucking did his thing. And this dude is legit. Like, he has everything that you can ask for a UFC fighter. But I feel like they're trying to move up O'Malley. And he went from 11th ranked bantamweight up to the number one contender. So he gets the next title shot against, he should get the next title shot against, Sterling now. Moving right into it, Sterling Dillashaw. That was disappointing because it just ended on Sterling on top of Dillashaw, just ground and pound because his shoulder was all popped out of place. Supposedly they were saying that his shoulder popped out 20 times during camp, bro. If your shoulder is popping out that many times during camp, you don't even need to make the fight, bro. Like, don't go there. Like, if it's popping out during camp, it's gonna pop out during the fight, bro. It's just gonna happen. And yeah, we want to see that fight because it's a championship fight. These two have been talking shit, but it also takes away because now you're not 100%, dog. You're not 100%. Your shoulder popped out in the first round. Kudos to you. You got it past the first round. They popped it back into place. But then second round, you just got owned, dog. And there's nothing much you can do. Like, he wasn't throwing with that left hand. And then, bro, fucking main event, Oliveira.
Talk to me.
Islam. I mean, bro, like, I was talking so much shit to my boy Josh. Shout out Josh. He won the bet. I had to fucking shave my mustache. I look like a fucking, I don't even know, bro. Like, it just sucks because the Oliveira hype train was there. Like, he was knocking all these people out. He was submitting people. When he got knocked down, I wasn't really worried because that's what usually happens. But these Dagestani motherfuckers are just different, bro. Like, he said it. He's like, no, they were knocking him down, but they didn't want to go down on the ground with him because they were scared of his, jiu-jitsu. And I mean, he's like, I'm not scared of that shit. I got wrestling. I'm getting trained by Khabib. As soon as he knocked him down, he went right down the octagon, right down on the mat with him and just put him in that triangle choke. And man, it was just so sad seeing Charles choke and just like seeing him on the mat, just like withering, trying to like get away from his legs kicking and shit. I was just like so disappointed.
Very different, right? Like to see a guy that's dominated for that amount of time and done it similar to that style and see the opposite. Yeah. Damn, I gotta see some highlights. I gotta figure that out.
Yeah, definitely watch some of it. And man, like, just because I was talking mad shit about Islam and all this kind of stuff doesn't mean I'm not a fan. Like, Islam is legit. Like, this dude is fucking nasty. Like, he gets people out of there quick. And there was a lot of people saying, oh, he can't box, he can't stand up. He showed that. He showed that against Oliveira. He hit him, he knocked him down. And I mean, he just did his thing. I don't know who really wants to fight that dude because he's just so like dominant. And I mean, when you're getting trained by fucking Khabib. Oh, I forgot the Bilal Muhammad, Sean Brady. Bro, I had Sean Brady winning that fight. He was undefeated. Bilal came out there. Remember the name? This dude did his fucking thing, bro. TKO Sean Brady. Sean Brady no longer undefeated. Bilal Muhammad, he was getting trained by Khabib too. That dude is nasty. He's legit. And I mean, we got another banger coming up. Allen and Cater this weekend, main event, UFC Fight Night. I mean, I just don't like these day cards, bro. That shit.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. They were in where? Abu Dhabi?
Abu Dhabi, yeah. Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, that's where the last race is for F1.
You know, he's doing his thing. He's #1 contender now, and you know, you can't hate on him, bro. He's mad young. He's just living life, bro. Chilling with the Nelk boys, you know, chilling with Steve will do it, fucking all that kind of shit. So like, he's a dad. It was his birthday today or yesterday, probably today. Yeah, you know, like, bro, like, I'm out here. I hate this shit, bro. Like, what the fuck is this? I did it right away, bro. I just got it out the way. I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking hold on to it. Like, I need this shit to grow back. It'll be back in like a month.
Smart. A month?
Yeah, not like how it was, but like I'll have like, a mustache back.
A month? Damn, it should be taking 2 weeks, B. I haven't shaved mine. I haven't shaved any part of my face, whether it's mustache or beard, in 12 years. So I don't know how long it's gonna grow, but I can't imagine it's gonna take a month.
To how it was, my mustache was kind of long, bro. I'm just so sick, bro.
Well, you're a man of your word. It's better to be a man of your word and look like a bit and look like how you look than be a bitch.
Like
and
say
be
it.
A bitch would be the same, you know. I don't know. I don't know what word I was searching for, but
I just had to get it out the way, man. Just like Kanye getting all this shit out the way.
Nah, good for you. I'm trying to find some streams. I realized I can't stream the Panthers game on
hockey?
ESPN. Yeah, I got 3 TVs, B. I gotta have each one going on. I got basketball on one. I got Rangers on the other. The baseball's not on today, so what else am I gonna watch? Shows?
You're not trying to watch hockey, bro.
Why not?
You watched that last House of Dragon episode?
We'll get into that in a second. Let me read off some quick topics, and then we'll get into what we're watching. Last episode, we talked a lot about this man a lot, and, you know, we're not protesting. We're just not going to go into more than 2 minutes, 3 minutes moving forward, because until he shows some stability. Adidas dropped Kanye West.
Adidas dropped him. Gap dropped him.
Yeah. Now everybody's...
Anna Winter dropped him. His agent dropped him.
Now all of a sudden everybody's...
But see, like,
on that train where it's like people like me, I didn't even watch the full interview. I don't know the whole thing, and all of a sudden people tweet stuff. I'm not saying he's wrong. He definitely is, because he's wilding. But it's like a lot of humans on social media are just like protesting him, where it's like, do you even know the words he said? Do you even know why you're mad at him or something?
He literally what he said was that the Jews have power, they have money, they control a lot of stuff. Like, I mean, he did say he'd go DEFCON 3, whatever. Like, that's fucked up.
That was the wilding part, but everything else he's pretty accurate about.
Like, and this is the thing, like, people don't want to hear the truth. Just like Instagram doesn't want to hear the truth. And we talk about COVID and all this kind of shit. And now we can't go live. Fuck that shit. Like, I mean,
yeah, that's another thing. You want to hear another truth thing?
Tell me.
Adidas. You know what the first name of the founder of Adidas was? Adolf.
What? Oh.
Adolf Dassler. So how Adidas came about was his name was Addy, which is smart for him to make a nickname for. So his name was Addy Dassler, so it's Adidas. And he was German. So,
look,
I don't know if this is true. Wikipedia, so don't, you could fact check me if you want. The Dassler brothers did not fail to see how their economic interests would benefit from politics. All 3 Dassler brothers joined the Nazi Party on May 1st, 1933, 3 months after Hitler was appointed chancellor. So I don't know if that's accurate. Seen on social media. Probably shouldn't be reading this if I didn't fact check it myself, but quick info. Not everybody's perfect.
Look, Twitter dropped him. Instagram dropped him. He's been wanting to get out of Adidas for a while.
Yeah, so this helps.
Adidas was stealing his fucking shit. Like, their shoes and shit that Adidas was making, like, you look at them and they're like, yo, these look like Yeezys. And Adidas wasn't doing that shit before.
Yep.
So, whatever. Gap was doing the opposite of what he wanted. They were making shit, like, exclusive. They were making shit high price. And he's like, yo, I want this shit available to everyone. I want everyone to be able to cop this shit. They weren't doing it. So now Gap drops them, Adidas drops them. The funniest shit to me out of all this, though, is him showing the Adidas executives the porn video. They're all sitting down on some stools, and he's showing them this porn video. That shit was fucking hilarious.
I didn't see that.
Watch that. Please watch that. That shit's hilarious. I'd look it up, but it's going to take too much time.
Yeah, let's
But
not
at
do
the
that.
end
We
of-
already spent 3 more minutes more than I wanted on it. But God,
At the end of the
can
day,
finish.
like, and now you got Jaylen Brown and Aaron Donald who were signed to Donda sports agency. They left. Like, as an athlete, bro, like, why would you even do that? Like, he's not a sports agent. Kanye is a musician. He's a producer. He's a fucking designer. He's a fashion guy. Like, you're obviously signing to it because you feel some kind of way and you think that it's going to help you in your career. Why wouldn't you just sign to a fucking actual sports agent? Like, you're obviously looking for something in return, and now, like, he's wilding, bro. Like, he's saying shit that he shouldn't say. He needs help. He's off his meds.
People
But
can't
it's just
stay a
like-
part of something because then they'll get ripped apart. Like, Jaylen Brown, why are you signed to a guy that hates Jews? It's like, you really, these days, you just can't you can't stay affiliated with people that have, even if they're not guilty and get proven innocent. Not saying this is the case. I'm just saying in general, it's like, you just can't stay with them. Like, it doesn't matter. It's just like, it's public eye. Public eye rules all. Back in the day,
And
public
now-
eye was like, it's okay. Like, back in the day, OJ, take that for public eye. No social media, just word of mouth, just like he said, she said. A lot of people loved OJ during, and after. But it's like, that social media aspect is a beast. It'll just kill your pockets and kill your lifestyle. How it is.
And it's so funny how Chloe and Kylie, now all of a sudden they want to share like shit, like them standing up for Jewish people and saying that they're totally against all anti-Semitic stuff, which there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously that shit's bad. Like, don't be racist. Don't say
But
shit
You got the
against other
butt.
people. But they've never done that shit before. Like, yo, like, none of that shit was ever happening. Like,
Am I wrong?
where
But
were these people standing
don't Palestine and Israel go
Yes,
at it?
bro. Yes, bro.
I might be very ignorant
Where
towards
was
some
it?
things, but I'm pretty sure that's. And aren't they Palestinian? Not saying they have to hate on the other side, but I'm just like,
I think they're Armenian. I think.
oh, Armenian.
yeah.
You're right. Good. See, good.
Yeah. But like,
should be blending all together.
it doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter. This is all just like, why is Kanye even on fucking news network talking?
Yeah, we give. This is what happens when you give celebrities, artists, whatever, too much power, too much. Nobody should be paying attention to him that literally. And if you are, go ahead, fine. You're an idiot. But like, reasonable sound people don't pay attention to that shit. They read it, they laugh at it, they comment at it, and then they move on. It's like 2% of humans actually take this seriously, and let them be crazy. Because guess what?
And
If it's not Kanye, they're gonna be going crazy over somebody else.
Exactly.
Who cares?
And the only reason I even wanted to like bring it up or talk about it is because everyone else is talking about it.
I mean,
So it's clickbait.
Hopefully we don't. Yeah, we're not gonna make a title about it. We're not gonna. I'll put it in the timeline, but I'm not gonna make anything more about it because hey, if you listen to the whole duration of the podcast and you're listening to this part and you don't like it, you can skip ahead. That's fine. But hey, if it's out there and we talk about it, yeah, whatever. Let's. I'm just gonna read some fast topic news. Elon Musk, according to some sources, that he's gonna close on Twitter by Friday. We'll see how that goes. That'll be interesting to see if there's immediate, changes. Netflix cracking down on password sharing in 2023. That's because the stock is going down. They're trying to figure out ways to make more money. Makes sense. Hey, if it ain't your account, pay for it. If you can't afford it, don't have it. I'm very simple with that stuff. Like, there's a couple accounts where I get from my mom, her cable network in New York. I don't pay for it, but if I had to, I'd make a decision. Do I have to pay for it or I don't? And I have to live with that. So, sucks for some people. That'll end it. Brittany Griner's appeal got denied. It seems like it's in motion that she's going to serve 9 years in prison in Russia, which is crazy. But we've spent enough time on that. Just want to announce that news. That is overall, it's awful. Like whether we feel like she did a crime and she doesn't deserve 9 years, she doesn't deserve to go about how it is. There's far more things that people have done in either Russia or here that don't even serve any part of that time. But she was a professional athlete that was in the wrong place, wrong time, that did something illegal that they take seriously. So who am I to say? You got to know your rules, got to know where you are, and do it properly. Basketball, Nets are going through it. Heat are going through it. It's early in the season. We're a week in, 2 weeks in. Nothing matters. Nothing matters until you get to game 10, 11, and 12. Then we start ramping up to like, all right, now we got to fix our issues. But I'm watching a game right now that Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram's not even playing, and the Dallas Mavericks, who have high conference finals expectations, are down 3 with 25 seconds. So you can't tell me that every team's going through it at this point. Shout out Kendrick Lamar, 10 years of Good Kid, Mad City. I was bumping that. I would argue that it's one of my favorite albums of all time, but not my personal best album from him. I like his mixtape Section 80, Overly OD. So I go back further with Kendrick, that his catalog. But Good Kid, Mad City was a classic platinum album. He's on tour right now, celebrating that album. Lil Baby album, It's Only Me, I didn't get to listen to. Have you yet?
Yeah, I've been bumping that shit consistently.
Good.
Yeah.
Overall,
I don't think
Lil
Baby don't miss, bro. Lil Baby,
he never misses.
Court.
Never misses. I gotta listen to that. And what's on in the lab? House of Dragon season finale, 10 episodes. It was the 10th episode. Watched it today. It's sad that the 10th and last episode was, in my opinion, the best episode of all 10, and
They
really
usually
got
do
it
like that though.
because they want you coming. They don't want to lose audience. They don't want to suck and do a bad episode 10 and then lose people. So you guys know my opinion. You guys know my opinion. I've hated on this series. I like the first 2 episodes, and then from episode 3 to 7 or 8, it was a waste of time, to be honest. But episode 10 was great. They want me wanting more now. If you didn't watch it, we won't give you spoilers. There's one TV show I'll talk about when we have time for another episode. Redeem Team, we'll talk about that. There's a couple, we could go back and forth on that for a little bit, so we'll save that. Did watch The Watcher. You told me a couple episodes ago, don't watch it. I thought you were referring to another show with a similar title from years back. Maurice, that was on the podcast to begin this episode, watched the first 2 episodes or 3 episodes on the plane on the way to Austin, said it was good. I watched 2 episodes on the plane and then watched, I go through episodes fast, watched 4 episodes last night, 2 episodes today. Overall, I enjoyed it. Hold on. I'm going to get to it. Overall, enjoyed it. Cinema wise, and what I enjoy thrillers, I enjoy suspense, I enjoy mysteries and stuff like that. So overall, it had those concepts. It just didn't tie together at the end. It was kind of clunky, very clunky at the end. But I don't know how, it was based on a true story, so I don't know how true the facts were. So that's another dynamic of it. It's like, I don't know what's true, I don't know what's false. So I'm going to have to look into it on the true end, but I'll get your take in a second. I just want to make sure my point is established. You said it was bad, so I watched it, trying to ignore what you said, and I enjoyed it, even though I knew somebody like you didn't like it, which I trust their opinion. Watched it with Bree, the last 5 episodes, and it wasn't a waste of time. Didn't love it, didn't hate it. Thought it was, I'm going to say really good, or good to really good, maybe like a 7.
Way, bro.
That's just my opinion. Go ahead, say yours.
Look, man, this show was like my last relationship. A waste of time and no closure. That's what I've been telling people.
We're getting deep.
I mean, like, yeah, it had that like mysterious, thriller, all that type of shit. And spoiler alert, like, all right, before I get into spoiler alert, these motherfuckers, Buddy spent $7,000 on camera systems and didn't put a camera by the mailbox where he was getting letters to.
There was a lot of things that I had issues to. Literally,
and then Buddy started smashing his daughter. And then, like,
allegedly, there's a lot of pedophilia going on. By the way,
yeah. You have the part where like they find the fucking tunnel, whatever, and then they see the person, and people come out and they're like, they're onto us, and then that's it. Nothing happens after that.
They didn't tie a lot of loose ends together where like things like that. Yeah,
like there was way too much focus on the private detective or private investigator. Way too much focus on that. There was so much cap. Everyone was capping. The police detective.
Everybody was capping. Full cap.
Like, Stifler's
that means a lot for
cap.
you guys that don't know.
Stifler's mom was in it, bro. That was the only thing I could think of the whole time. I'm like, yo, this is Stifler's mom.
Like, I'm watching mom. She was whispering the whole time too. That was kind of weird.
Yeah, it was a lot of like ASMR type shit. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, she was whispering a lot. That was kind of weird.
You should sell your house. At first, I thought it was her. I'm like, yo, it's got to be her, bro. And then like, it's not her. And like, it was just way too much going on, and nothing happened at the end. And like, there's got to be another season. Because if there's
there's no season. That's it. It's a one-off, bro. It's not another season. There's no other season, bro. It wasn't whack. What I try to do is with shows like that, I try to analyze shows and I try to analyze movies way more in depth.
I feel like
if
it would have been a movie, it would have been better.
Yes,
they could have condensed all that shit.
100%. Well, they probably had
2 hours.
They probably had a movie idea and then linked up with Netflix, threw a bunch of money at it, and then went with Netflix. That's probably what happened. They probably had it in a movie, then drawn it out to become a show or a series, and then that's what happened. So I think that's a good point. I think it was a movie, and they figured out how to draw it out a little bit longer, which didn't do it justice. But overall, it wasn't a waste of time. I didn't love it. I'm not going to recommend it to people, but if people ask me about it, I'll say, yeah, watch it. Take it for what it is. But on the literal sense, I didn't enjoy it only because those little nuances of like, dude, why didn't you just do that? Okay, that don't make sense. But I like basically what it had me and how you get me as a series is, do I want to start the next episode and I'm tired? That's kind of my barometer to a series.
Bro, I watched that
if it's midnight,
like 4 a.m. one time.
Yeah,
I saw it. I watched it till like 4.
But that means it at least got you a little bit, though. You got to admit that.
Because I kept trying to. I'm like, yo, what's gonna happen? And like, I get it, but then I get to the end, and I'm like, yo, there's some bullshit. Like, this is ass. Like, I was sick. I'm surprised my TV's not broken right now.
What's that website? Sportbay.org or something? For allegedly, you got East Streams, you got Sports.
Stream East.
No, it's not. They don't have NHL. Sports Bay.
Crack Streams.
Yeah.
No, I've heard. Yeah, NHL, Sports Bay. Yeah, there's Sports Bay. Yeah.
Never mind. Off the record. All right, let's wrap this up. Any shout outs? Any little things just to tie it up before we wrap up this episode that went way too long?
I mean, it was a good episode though. I'm with it. Like, we had a guest on. We broke down some Formula One. Shit like that. So I mean, I'm not mad at it. Hold on, let me check something real quick. Shout out New York Supreme Court. They're reinstating all the employees that were fired for being unvaccinated. This is like government employees and like I think like nurses and shit like that. Not public stuff, like private employees. And they ordered back pay. Granted, this could still be appealed and whatever. But, shout out them for doing the right thing because COVID it is what it is. I don't want to, we're probably shadow banned on Instagram, by the way. So if you don't see our stuff, we're consistently posting stuff. If you don't see our stuff, it's not because we're not posting. We're always posting. Shout out.
Go to our page and just like a bunch of things and then you'll pop up more.
Literally. If anything, just save it. Like, because I know none of y'all go back and look at your saved stuff. I know none of y'all do that. Because I don't. Shout out them. And then I didn't really have too many shout outs. Like one thing I just like thought about like while I was doing it and whatever. Because I've been using this the past few weeks and definitely since Saturday because I don't have a mustache now and it kind of sucks. Shout out my boy, originally OG Beard. My boy got his own beard butter.
Oh, him.
Heem.
I like it.
He got beard butter. It's all natural. He makes it himself in Nevada. It's got a bunch of different like smells, fragrances you may call it. This is the wholesome one. It's got some mango butter, shea nut oil, vitamin E, apricot. It's not animal tested. I mean, it's legit stuff. He's got a bunch of stuff. They got hats, little says Heem on it. My man's doing his thing. He had like his own like clothing stuff going for a while. So, shout out OG Beard. That's what I know him as, and what I'll keep calling him. And it's some legit stuff. Like for all my bearded brothers, this is it. Like you go out, like the ladies gonna smell it. Like, 'cause it's just legit. Like I've had a few, my lady friends allegedly smell it, and
allegedly
10 out of 10, they're like, "Oh, that shit smell good." And I've had my guy friends smell it too. Shit does smell good though. So it's not expensive. It's reasonably priced, even though we're in a recession coming soon. We'll put the link. We'll share it if you want something. Let me know. Some good stuff.
All right. Shout out BR boys, Billionaires Row. Hopefully we're on. Hopefully in Miami we're on a yacht in a couple weeks. We'll see.
Is that what it is?
We're gonna be indifferent. We're not gonna follow up. We're gonna see if that invite comes through. Authentically.
It did come through though. We got personally invited.
No, but we need the follow up. You need the follow up on the. When we're vibing, he's having some wine, we're drinking some, we're just vibing. It's that follow up. In the next week, we'll know if we're out there.
Bad. So you want that official?
Yeah, I don't want to beg or I don't want to follow up. I need BR to, Sir Doctor, and all that. I need him to follow up with us.
Sir Doctor. That's true.
Dr. Sir. All right. Episode 46. We appreciate Motites, Maurice coming through on the pod. Shout out him. Shout out TT for a great weekend in Austin. Got some great pictures. Right. I'll maybe put together in a post for this episode.
I think that deserves its own post.
Yeah, we might have some
post for that.
Yeah, have some fun with it.
Do we want to talk about the giveaway?
I don't have anything to say about it, so if you want to talk about it.
We got a giveaway. We're going to make a post of it. It's coming soon. We already kind of like sprinkled some stuff on it. We got a hat for y'all. All right. Enter the Lab hat. New era hat. Not some rinkety-dinkety $10 hat. This is a very, very nice hat that I purchased with my hard-earned money. All right? I'd be sweating in a warehouse that I had to fucking use my money to pay for this hat. All right?
Okay.
We're going to make a story post. So, like, simple stuff, you know? Ray's probably like, yo, what the fuck this dude talking about? Like, we kind of discussed it, but we never really went officially about it. We're going to make a story post. All we ask is that you like, comment on it, you know.
Subscribe.
Follow. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow the pod page. You don't got to follow me or Ray. Definitely don't got to follow me because I'm probably shadow banned myself. But, you know, just follow the pod page. Subscribe on YouTube. Like it. Comment. And if you want to get extra saucy with it, we'll add an extra entry if you share it on your story.
Ooh.
Share it on your story. It's a very nice hat. Like I said, it's not a cheap-ass hat. It's a nice hat. And, you know, we'll fucking maybe go live if we can. Because we can't go live on Instagram right now. But one of us will go live, or we'll have Fort David go live and we'll join his live or whatever. And, you know, give away the hat. Because if you want to wear it, cool. If you want to just keep it, you know, we prefer that you wear it and, you know, hit us up and, you
do
know,
whatever the fuck you want with it.
Yeah, but giveaway for the hat. We'll have a story post. We'll have an actual post coming soon. And, you know, it's a nice ass hat. Ray's worn it. I've worn it.
You're hyping up this hat so much. Stop.
not the hat that we're gonna give away. We have our own hat, but we got a nice ass hat for y'all. Yeah,
right.
Of course I'm gonna hype up the hat, bro. Why wouldn't
I'm wrapping up this episode.
The Yankees lose.
You just went on a 1 minute rant about a hat. Might have to edit at least 58 seconds out of that.
No, we don't do edits, bro. We don't do.
Might have
to. No, fuck that. I'll be watching podcasts and like I can tell when they edit shit or whatever. Like,
all right, bro. Episode 57, 47.
We're getting close.
You got me aged. Yeah, we are getting close. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up for you guys. So, episode 46, Elvis Escobar Fort.
I gotta take
CHIMAEV. Enter the lab. Exit the lab. Peace.
1.